Hi, everyone. Delfino Aguilar here, your SVP of Wholesale Production at Kind Lending. I am really excited to bring you guys our newest episode of Del Talk with our special guest, Mr. Michael Ray from Smile Project Louisville. We talked about a lot of great things. We talked a lot about how we bring kindness and smiles to the world. So I hope you guys really enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.
My brother Del, I'm overwhelmed. I'm blessed to share this space and time with you. I'm six kinds of excited to get this party started, baby.
Yeah, me too.
Hey,
Me too.
I gotta correct you though, man. It's Louisville. It's
Louisville, yeah. So I said it. So that's funny you said that, right? We were talking about how is it said, right? Louisville, right? I'm from California. What do you expect?
It's all good, and it's a very, very common mistake when people look at it and go, "How do I say that?" A lot of people say Louisville, but when you live here, it's Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah, I gotta make sure I roll it. Yeah, I gotta make sure I roll it. So Michael, let's talk a little bit about you, right? Like I love following your videos on LinkedIn. I love everything you're doing on Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot going on with what you're doing. Let's talk a little bit about your project and how it got started. Like I'm so interested about the story. We talked a bit about it, but let's talk a little bit about that.
One would never think, I climb into people's minds and I ask them the question, especially if you're a parent. We take for granted, we hear those three simple words from our kids, I love you. But what if you don't hear those words? And with my nonverbal daughter, Maddie, who has Down syndrome, she has never said to me as a parent, I love you. But she speaks to me nonverbally in the simplicity, and I say the power of smile. Never thinking that as that lifted me through the challenges and hardships of life, that it would intersect with a drive-through. And it's something that we all do and we take for granted. But I tell people we don't know what a stranger is going through in life as we intersect our daily routines. And for me, it was, as a 48-year-old man a few years ago, I was going through a horrible morning, left the office to go get some chili at Wendy's because it was cold in February. And It was the intersection of the relationship with my daughter and understanding love through a smile and how uplifting it was in a 30-second interaction with Chantrell at a drive-through. And of course, nothing is ever born there, but when you allow that to marinate and you think on it and then you act on it. And that's basically what I did in that moment. I chose to say thank you to a human being who made me feel good by getting out of my car and going back and taking a picture with a stranger to remember the significance of what that felt like. But again, once it marinates, I found myself taking pictures with complete strangers all throughout the city, never knowing the who, the where, the what, the when, the why, but yet feeling such joy. And then again, that's where the journey started to evolve.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, like, I'm getting chills just talking to you about it because, I sit in my chair here in Irvine. I'm actually in our corporate office here. And we have a whole team with us today here. And just watching you talk about it brings a smile to me. And I'm sure people watching this because it means a lot, a smile that I love you throughout your day, and how was that first day for you doing that you went back and took a picture of her with her, right?
Oh, I did. So really, to put people in that place, I actually pulled over and I broke down crying. And whether you have faith or you believe in the universe or whoever's talking to you, whether it's your intuition, for me, being a faithful man, I was like, God, what in the hell are you trying to tell me here? And I broke down crying. I composed myself. And when I did, I felt overwhelmed to say thank you. And I don't know why, but I felt compelled to get out of the car. And I look at it now and it is kind of creepy. It's one of those things that is taboo. You don't walk back out to the drive-thru because the first reaction of the word is, what is wrong, sir? And I'm like, no, it's not what's wrong.
Right.
It's what is right. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, I want to say thank you. Thank you for what? And I was like, you just did something that made me feel so good. What is your name? She said, I'm Chantrell. And then, of course, another car pulled up and I knew I didn't have much time. I said, I don't know why. I want to remember the moment. I'm taking your picture with me. and I did. And again, it could have been just that, but I
Yeah.
reflected so much on that moment and how it made me feel. And then I started tying the two together with my daughter as I went through the struggles of life. And again, being in the mortgage industry and exiting it, because I tell people
Yeah.
I started before there were credit scores. And
Right.
then I was in the middle of it when wholesale tumbled and I lost 5 jobs in about 18 months. And I swore I would never do it again. And I found myself delivering pizzas at a mid 40-year-old guy, thinking my life had no value. And then as I evolved as a father and a man and came full circle, I started finding such intense joy by giving to others. And as I gave in these moments, taking pictures, never thinking, as it started as just pictures. And I had a moment of, I call it another epiphany. Wow, what if I did a random act of kindness to make a stranger smile? What would that feel like? What would I do? And I took pictures for a year and a half, but as I started sharing them to social media, and that evolved because I also started asking the person I was with, tell me something amazing about you. And I started seeing people love because they got to talk about themselves. And I believe in the power of self-love, and finding that space and understanding we all are that amazing. But again, it evolved. I did my first random act of kindness about 18 months ago, and I
Yeah.
was blown away. It was like a drug. The level of joy and happiness that I found in the moment. So after we did it first, it's like, where are we going next?
Yeah. What do
Who's
you?
our next victim? Where are we
Right.
going?
Right.
Never thinking that that would evolve, because the first 6 weeks as I did them and shared on the social media, people were like, where do you find these people? This
That.
is amazing. But then somebody reached out to me and said, what if I know someone who needs to smile? And I'm like, what? Really? Who? Tell me about them. And then
Yeah.
they told me the story of someone and what they were going through in life. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Yes, we would love to go find a way to make them smile. And it continued to evolve, where most of what we do now is because people reach out to us
Wow.
and tell us the story of what someone's going through in life, and never thinking that, in the moment, I never know what I'm going to say. I was sitting with a 28-year-old school teacher battling stage 3 colon cancer in the middle of her classroom right before COVID. We smile and make others smile because life's hard. And
Right.
sometimes it isn't easy. And for those who choose to smile through such adversity and remain so positive is a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
that's where I really try to find, a way to impress upon people, is that even though life is hard at times, life is still good.
Yeah. It is. It is. And man, I don't even know what to say about that after you said that. Right. I mean, there's just so much to digest. I mean, honestly, it's a beautiful thing. First of all, thank you for what you're doing, and I'm
Well, thank
thinking
you.
of people that I interact with on a daily basis, people that that then that person can smile, probably needs a smile, needs help, and you talked about Maddie a little bit, right? She's in your videos quite a bit,
Yes.
and beautiful. And I think that's for parents that are in a similar boat, or parents that have trouble saying, believe it or not, there's parents out there that say, don't get that I love you back from their parent,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, from their children or whatever. Like, what advice do you have for them to communicate with their children or with people that they love that don't reciprocate, either because they can't or they won't? Do you have any
Well,
feedback
yeah,
on that?
look, it is a challenge.
Yeah.
And I would say, again, when we find ourselves in the low spot, and we have a tendency to put in our minds all the negativity. So we focus
Yeah.
on what is really wrong
Right.
versus what is great, what is amazing. So as in relationships, whether they're personal or professional, it's
Right.
about focusing on love and empathy. So with parents in those situations, focus on what is beautiful about your child. So
Yeah.
rather than focusing on, Maddie going, for the love of God, she can't tell me she loves me. Maybe she doesn't. I focus on what is beautiful about her, and all the beautiful things that she brings to me and others. And I have found this space that she's more perfect than you and I, but we see the outward signs of Down syndrome. So we think something's wrong with her. She's intellectually handicapped, but yet she lives in infinite joy and happiness. She doesn't understand fear and anxiety and stress. All of those things, that we have a tendency in life to chase and cloud our minds with. God, work was a pain today, versus it could be such an intense blessing. Our relationship, our friends and family are blessings.
Yeah, they are. And I think you're right. And I think maybe people watch this might need to hear that, everything's a blessing. And what you mentioned earlier, I think is really important, especially in our business. We're going to talk a little bit about that too, but putting yourself in other people's shoes is critical in any type of relationship, And so thank you for mentioning that. You did highlight a little bit about that, Has there been someone that really stuck out to you that you've interacted with? Like, you're like, oh my God, this person, when I made them smile, or that really made you take it to the next level, you're like, just something that sticks
I'm
out.
at a point now, and I did a couple today. I drove to Indianapolis and back and did a couple, and they weren't them, but I'm bringing that up because I've done now, I don't know, 150, 200 of them. But there are ones that do have more significance. I won't diminish any of them.
Right.
But I did one last summer, and it was crazy because it was on my birthday. And we walked out of this Cuban restaurant. I was with my girlfriend and two of my daughters. And as I walked down, this dude turned around and looked at me and smiled. And I looked back at him, and I don't have any comfort zones. And I said, "You have no idea what's on." And I immediately handed my phone to my girlfriend because she knew what that meant. That means start recording. I go sit next to this guy. We're just chopping it up. He's homeless. So I just felt him come alive in just this very short interaction. And again, I went back to what I asked people. And I asked him, I said, "Nate, tell me something amazing about you." And I'm in the moment. And he goes, "I love people." And I'm sitting here processing this in the moment, going, this cat's homeless. Yeah. He could look at life and people, with such resentment, but yet he has this spirit about him going, "I love people." And I'm like, what an amazing thing, in the moment to say, because when you put people on the spot, it's you really get a lot of real. Because they have to think quickly, and it's like, "Oh my God, I'm amazing." I'm like, yes, you are. But for a homeless dude to feel love from a complete stranger and tell him he's amazing and that he just loves people, it blew me away. It absolutely blew me away.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you talk about like you're in different communities. You were in San Diego recently too, right? You were in Southern California.
I was.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got to look me up next time you're in San Diego.
Right? Especially hug it out, baby.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go out there and help people, make people smile with you, brother. So what an impact you've done on communities, right? As you've seen you're on the news also, right? In Bakersfield as well. They did a great article on you too on that. What impact, what a beautiful impact you've made in communities. What's some of the feedback you received from community leaders, people in the community? Are people still following your lead on that, right? Like, what's going on with that in the community?
I thank the good Lord that I still maintain a level of humility, because I get told on a consistent basis what I'm doing. People tell me how awesome and amazing. And look, I often go back to, that thing that we talk about at times in life. Look, man, I'm just a dude. I put my pants on the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe I went through a little bit more in life. I had a calling, and I answered that call. Yeah. With that we all have this within us. Yeah. We do it in different forms or fashion. Most of the time, what I'm truly looking to do when I spread kindness and I'm with someone, I look to impact the lives of two people. I truly try to keep it that simple, regardless of how many thousands of people watch a video. The two people are the one who I'm with. I'm present with them. So I'm trying to make an impact right there in the moment. And then it's one other set of eyeballs. I'm just trying to recreate Wendy's for one other human being.
Yeah.
A drive-through changed my life because I chose. I say this to my kids all the times. Life's about choices.
Yeah.
So I had a choice, and I chose to continue to move forward in my life to impact and inspire the lives of others.
Right.
So what that said is I'm looking to touch the life of one other person, regardless of how many people watch it. So if that's that one person, and the feedback that I get a lot of times, and what really hits me, Del, is the one who's never really commented on social media. And it's the one who's watched for months and then all of a sudden sends me that private message. And I had one back in December, and when I got it, I broke down crying because it was a late 60-year-old man in St. Louis who, the morning after his wife of 35 years died, sent me a message and said, "Hey, I never said anything, but my wife had been dying of cancer. I want to thank you for helping me through that part of my life that I write on your videos every day to get me through it." And I'm sitting there processing, going, how do you think of messaging me
Yeah.
the morning after your wife? I appreciate it, but I'm like, how do you think of that? But then again, you think of what, of how people look at you in the importance and impact you're making. I know it resonates. So it's that person who's gone through that piece and that hardship and challenge in life, but has done it quietly.
Yeah.
That hasn't commented every day. And again, I won't diminish those people either, but yet they've done it behind the scenes, and it's like you have to process that.
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, I'm just getting chills a couple of times during this interview. I mean, you're dropping some stuff on us today. I mean, there's just a lot to be said about that. Right. Just lost his wife, the impact. I'm a firm believer in, we're in the relationship business first.
Of course.
Right. And mortgages come second, but it all starts with people. So, man, God bless you for what you're doing there, man, because definitely that's one of the questions I wanted to ask about how it's affecting the community, because, it's all about spreading your word, spreading kindness. And like people like this gentleman whose wife just passed away and he reached out to you, and, transitioning a little bit, Michael, so Glenn started his company, Kind Lending, and
when you all reached out to me, I'm blown away by the name. I was like, good heavens. I mean, you can't make it up.
Yeah, right. I mean, he has a strong feeling about this. It's a passion, I would say, not a feeling about, our industry in general. Glenn owned a company for many, many years, over 35 years, was super successful as number one. And, coming back into it, he wanted to really drive kindness. There's a different type of currency. It's not only money all the time. Right. I think COVID taught us that, so we're really, really trying to make our teams happy, our brokers happy, really driving that kind message. The mortgage industry is tough. Not everybody gets along in it. I think I'm a firm believer that, people should have choice. You should be able to, work with who you want to, and really be able to really drive your own business and drive kindness to that as well, too. Our audience is brokers and loan officers, and some of our, and they deal with their customers, some of our friends at different companies that we work with. Talk to us how your message, how they can talk to their customers. But if I'm a broker or loan officer listening to this, I'm hustling for that deal, trying to get that deal. But is there a different aspect that I should be looking about? Like, should I incorporate your message? I feel if I was a loan officer, I'd be incorporating your message on everything I do. But, what's some tips you can give our community that's listening to you today?
I think one of the most fundamental ones, and it's what I do, but it goes back into when people ask me, when I was a wholesale account executive, what made me successful, I basically went back to is that I'm 100% a relationship guy. I'm all about people, you know, and the foundation of that, and I'll answer your question, for me was if people liked you and they trusted you, they would have a tendency to want to work with you, regardless of whatever you were selling and whatever that cost was. So for me, in what I do, and I think this goes back into just relationships in general, whether that's personal or professional, you know, we're in the broker space, in the mortgage world, but the thing that resonates with me the most is that it's what Maya Angelou said. I'd love to take street credit, you know, for this, but she said, you know, people will forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel. So when you're working with a customer, you know, it's how you make them feel. If you make people feel good, they have a tendency to keep coming back. You know, and again, and then you bring in that like and trustability. There's something to be said, you know, look, a lot of times, and I say this because when people watch my videos, oh, I gave them balloons, I gave them a gift card. It's all of the things that happen in life that are not recorded. You know, it's not about gift cards. I say the balloons die, they spend the gift card, they smile in the moment, but yet when somebody asks me, well, what did Sean Trell say to you 3 years ago at Wendy's? I have no clue. But you know what? I still to this day remember how she made me feel. So as we deal with customers and build relationships personally and professionally, even in the mortgage world, how do we make them feel when we do business together? So if you're bringing the energy, the enthusiasm, the love, the kindness, and all that, it's not about a singular loan. So somebody is not placing a loan with you just because you have a specific program because your credit score goes that low that day. You know, they want to find ways to continue to work with you. You know, so if you make people feel loved and you do those things by making them smile and be kind and all of that, they'll want to continue to come back because even though you may be an eighth hire, they like and trust you the way you make them feel. And that's why the business keeps coming back. No matter if you're on your side of the desk or on the other side when they're dealing with the customer themselves.
Yeah. That's some great feedback because I think a lot of the times, you know, we get lost in the transaction, right? And everybody's trying to close it and you miss the relationship piece. You know, we started going out in the field recently. I was up in LA and I got to tell you the interaction that you have with my customers and our customers here, you got to love it. Like everybody's bro hugging, high fiving, you know, the other day it was high five day, you know, National High Five Day, you know, so it's great to be, it's great just to be out in the field, but more importantly, the relationship piece. I was talking to an AE today and she was telling me, she's like, Fino, I've known her for a long time. And she's like, you know what I do? I get paid to make friends. I get paid to build relationships. I get paid and it's my world, you know, and I love it. And I can't believe, she was telling me, I can't believe I get paid for this because she's someone that constantly has a smile on her face, constantly is.
It's so true though, because when people ask me what I miss the most about it, it's the people. It's, you know, I worked for one specific home player for 7.5 years. I missed all the relationships I had with the people inside. I missed all the brokers. I mean, when it went to hell in a handbasket, those are people. And when you're dealing with them and those relationships, I missed the daily and monthly interactions with those people. It's a beautiful thing going to see people and people ask me, what do I miss the most since COVID? I miss being able to hug people. A lot of what I do is violate people's personal space. I'm like, I can't wait to start hugging people again. You know?
That's awesome.
But you're telling me going visiting customers, that's awesome, dude. I mean,
it's definitely fun. I'm actually in the office here in Irvine. We have a big office here in Clinton Drive, and you know, coming in, the energy here is just different. You know, I have 4 kids at home. You know, I was talking to the team that sometimes the internet's running slower. Everyone's going home, you know, from school, you know, and just walking in here, the energy, being around the team is different, you know. So I can't wait to the day where all of us are back together, you know, and building those
It's a
relationships.
beautiful
So
thing. Yeah.
it is. It is.
We're getting
So this,
closer.
what's that?
We're getting closer.
We are getting closer. Yes, we are getting closer.
Yeah.
We are getting closer.
Yeah.
So listen, Michael, thank you so much for your time. Like you know, God bless you, man. What you're doing is awesome. You know, you dropped a lot of knowledge on us, a lot of great thing. If we can do anything here at Kind Landing for you, you know, please let us know.
Thank you.
We're big fans of you guys. What you guys
Well,
are doing
I
is
said
awesome.
this to you earlier, but I want to make sure it's you know known. You know, again, it's a two-way street, and these things start with you. I am blessed that you asked me to enter your space and share some time with you. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you,
Yeah,
my friend.
yeah.
Thank you. And again, if you're ever in Southern California again, hit me up. I'm San Diego.
We're
I'm
gonna make
20
it happen,
minutes
man. I'll give you a hug.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, we can bro hug then. Yeah, right on.
That's
So,
right, man.
so I hope everybody enjoyed our episode with Michael Ray. I'm gonna try. Let me see if I pronounce this right. Smile Project Louisville.
There you go, dude. You nailed it, man.
Louisville. There you go. Smile Project Louisville. You're on Facebook. You're on Instagram under that tagline, and also LinkedIn. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed our episode. I sure did. It's been one of the most funnest, energetic ones we've had. So thank you so much, Michael, for your time.
Thanks,
and I hope you guys enjoyed the content.
God bless. Thank you.